This is the first ever long wheelbase internal combustion engine BMW X1 right-hand drive in the world. Long story short, this is the petrol version of BMW's top-selling car in India, the iX1 long wheelbase, which has given Tesla a run for its money. In fact, the Model Y failed to sell because of the iX1. Anyways, it's better to buy Tesla stock than Tesla cars because rupees 1 lakh invested in Tesla 10 years back is around rupees 27 lakhs today. But Tesla is a US company. How do you even invest in US stocks? Using an app called IndMoney. But is it legal to invest in US stocks from India and through IndMoney? Yes, it is. As US stocks are expensive, you can do fractional investing on IndMoney, wherein you can buy part of a stock with just rupees 100. As the full stock grows, your part also grows at the same rate. Or you can do SIP in individual US stocks or ETF from as low as rupees 500. Also, IndMoney gives you ready-made tax reports for US stocks in its tax center, making it easy to file your income tax. Onboarding on IndMoney is quick, easy and a smooth process, and they don't charge you anything to open an account. So check the link in the description or the pinned comment to download IndMoney right away. Anyways, this is the BMW X1 S-Drive 18 Li M Sport, and the key has changed because it does not get the M colors here, does not get the piano black finishing either. They've just gone for this regular thing, so there's cost cutting here. Unlock the car. This is obviously to sound the alarm, I guess, or the hazard, and this is to open the boot. This is to lock the vehicle. The BMW key has got downgraded a bit. Anyways, this is the car right in front, which doesn't have any cosmetic changes. It looks the same when compared to before, but there is an improvement in terms of the engine because this one now produces 20 horsepower more. But yes, this B38 is still a 3-cylinder engine, which is very disappointing. Get this gas strut here. Why is this thing open? This should be closed. I don't know how it opened. That's for the battery, obviously. There's insulation right there. Washer fluid goes in there. Engine is pushed a bit back for better weight distribution, obviously. But the thing is, the design remains the same, which is surprising because the X1 has been on sale for 3 years now. They should have given it a facelift. They have not done that at all. Now here you get the radar for ADAS, the kidney grille with these chrome finishing on it, and this is the front parking camera, the BMW logo. You get a camera there for lane keep assist, you get a rain sensor as well. The car actually looks decent. I mean, it's big in terms of size. Indicator functioning here at the moment. These lights are actually very advanced. Firstly, it says BMW LED here. When you unlock the car, it actually turns on this DRL, then this DRL, and obviously it has a welcome and goodbye animation as well. Now this light is advanced because this has the adaptive LED function. It has inbuilt cornering lamps, it has inbuilt fog lamps and all those things. So yes, the lights are good. There are no fog lamps here because the lights are more than enough. You get 6 parking sensors at the front because obviously it has got self park, and you get active air curtains here for better aero efficiency. Now this car is available in 4 colors. I don't like this color. I think the white would look nice. You get a lot of bulges on the bonnet, and in terms of the alloy wheel design, it remains the same as before. No change on that front either. Front tire size, rear tire size the same, 225, 55, 18, and it says M right there. Now if you notice, it has black and silver finishing, so the alloy wheel design is actually quite nice. But if you notice on the inside, why is this a bit weird? The thing behind the disc, I mean, it seems to have like moved a bit, but I think that shouldn't happen because this car is absolutely brand new. You can see the suspension as well. There's a camera here. At night when you unlock the car, it projects M on the floor, which has changed when compared to before. And in terms of size, it has grown. And how? Because this is the long wheelbase, which means it's longer by 116 mm, out of which 108 mm actually goes into the wheelbase. The length is slightly more than 4.6 meters. The wheelbase is 2.8 meters, making this car look quite big, but you know, it looks a bit ungainly because the wheels are still small. Actually, the long wheelbase comes from China, wherein you get 19-inch wheels as standard with the option of opting for 20-inch wheels as well. Both the front doors have request sensors, so if you open the door, it will automatically unlock. Yeah, that happens automatically. Notice a big glass area here. In fact, the doors also open quite wide, which is nice, but no rear sun blind, which is very disappointing. They should have offered that. And the most important question, yes, it is E25 compliant, so it's petrol only. I don't know when the diesel will come, but have this sort of a chrome or silver treatment around the windows, which looks nice, and these roof rails don't look functional at all. Not really a shark fin antenna, so BMW has made a slight change there. In terms of the rear design, it remains the same as before. You get this sort of a diffuser treatment. Where is the exhaust? Well, there you can see one exhaust there, and that's it. With 3 cylinders, how will it have multiple exhausts? One is only enough. It says X1 here. S-Drive 18 Li. Li is obviously basically I for petrol, L for long wheelbase. Yes, this is a long wheelbase car. And here you get a camera which also gets the washer function, which is nice. You get a rear wiper washer. High mounted stop lamp, rear spoiler as well. Indicator functioning here. The reverse light is somewhere here. This is actually the rear fog. Now notice the light, okay? First and foremost, it has a welcome and goodbye animation, so it obviously flickers and dances a bit, which is nice. As soon as you turn on the rear fog, this shuts. Yeah, that's kind of weird how it functions. Anyways, the design at the rear remains the same as before, so no change on that front. However, if you come behind and dance and kick like this, then the boot also opens, because this is a power tailgate. Now, because this is a long wheelbase, the boot size has increased from 476 liters to 540 liters. So this boot is bigger by 64 liters. And then you can put the seat down in 40-20-40 format, with which it increases to 1700 liters, which is an increase from 1500 liters. So yes, more practical now. First aid kit is very premium here. You get these two hooks here on this side as well. Light placement right here. And below here you get a spare wheel, which is I think optional. 135/80/17 is the size of the spare tire, which is not an alloy. In fact, this is Max's tire. Meanwhile, the car is not running on Max's. That is the toolkit, obviously. And what is this and why is it lying like this? I have no clue at all. Let me press a button here. That's the warning triangle, and there shuts the power tailgate of the car. Now it has this nice treatment here. It even says BMW right there. It's actually running on Bridgestone tires, but the spare wheel has been cheapened out. I don't know why. Now rear seat space has improved dramatically. Look at that. Look at the amount the doors open. Now obviously not as wide as say a Tata Altroz, but I think it opens almost 80 degrees, which is amazing. Door pockets also massive, but lot of hard plastics everywhere. Nice leather treatment here. Notice this is brown, okay? Seats are brown, everything is brown. So there are two interior color options. There's this brownish color or orangish color, or you can opt for white and grey for the seat as well as the door pads and lower part of the dashboard, which I will not recommend for India because obviously it will get dirty very fast. Harman Kardon speakers. It has a 12 speaker system, 205 watt output. Audio quality is actually very nice. Now if you notice, this handle is so nice to hold. One touch up and down windows, all of them. Obviously this is a BMW. And then you see the seat and you realize a lot has actually changed. Firstly, knee room has increased by 109 mm because this is a long wheelbase. The seat cushion or the seat base has extended by 15 mm and the seat height has increased by 27 mm, which makes it super comfortable here. In fact, that is completely upright and this is completely reclined. So it has a 28.5 degree recline, which doesn't make sense only because you cannot sit in such a position. Only that back can sit, a person cannot sit. So this namesake 28.5 degree thingy is here, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now the regular petrol short wheelbase X1 actually had sliding seats here, which used to slide by up to 130 mm. There is no sliding seat here, unfortunately. The seat is very much fixed, and if you want to move the angle of the seat, you have to do it using these hooks, whatever you want to call this stupid strap, which makes no sense. It should have had a proper lever. I don't like it. It has got 8 airbags, and as soon as I get inside, I understand the logic of this car because there's so much footroom here. There's good amount of leg room, good amount of knee room, decent under thigh support as well. Headroom also is quite nice. In fact, this car has the widest and tallest cabin in the segment. Fantastic. But I don't understand the logic of not having any magazine pockets here. Yeah, no magazine pockets here. You get rear AC vents, a USB-C charging socket, some storage space here. Now this has a slight hump. However, center passenger is actually comfortable because he gets a head rest and there's an armrest with twin cup holders. The good thing is that the cabin is actually quite wide. So this is a very comfortable car. In fact, softening of the cushion has been done. So yeah, soft seats, really nice and comfortable. Fantastic, absolutely lovely. The dashboard is the same as before, no change on that front. If only thing, they have actually removed a few features, which I will obviously identify. BMW thinks that they can remove features and I will not know, but I will know and I'll tell you. No height adjustable seat belts. Unfortunately, there's a handle here, hook and a light placement here as well. Now look at the seats. They are actually quite big, very nicely bolstered. Yeah, hard plastic here, but overall superb seats. Phenomenal seats. Really, I love the seats on this car. Now, when I come to this side, I realize that the X1 isn't sort of a true BMW because firstly, it uses a mini platform and secondly, Who gives 3 cylinders for 60 lakhs plus? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Here you obviously get the M badging. It has got memory seats. You can save up to 2 people settings. Both the front seats are actually getting power adjust. Look at the bolstering, the side cushion. Oh my god, absolutely fantastic. Lovely seats are so big and nice and wide as well, which is phenomenal. Door pockets are big enough here. One touch up and down, but these are plastic switches which should have been metal. And again, this is a very nice treatment here. I really like it. But the speakers, they feel a bit cheap and very plasticky, very scratchy. In fact, a lot of hard plastics lower down on the dashboard, on the door pad as well. Yeah, a lot of hard plastics. Unfortunately, you get a proper dead pedal, light control here, and there is some storage space right below the floating center armrest, which is actually fantastic. First things first, let me actually open the sun blind. Because that's the only thing it opens. It's a fixed glass roof. BMW says this is the biggest glass roof in the segment. But why does it not open? Why is it fixed? Makes no sense whatsoever. It should have opened, but look at it. It is huge. It takes so long to open because it's so massive. Brings in a lot of airiness inside the cabin as well. Let's turn off the indicator. Okay, yeah, here you get some amount of soft material, but again, sketchy plastic here on the speaker. Auto dimming mirror here, SOS button, and you get light placement here on the top. Now this car has got a digital key which you can share up to 18 people. You can use your smartwatch, you can use your smartphone to unlock the car. So digital key and a lot of digital premium services are offered. 3-month trial is available with the car, but rest you have to obviously pay. The glove box is not lockable. It's decent size, does not get the cooling function here. And this opens, but the other side. Firstly, it's very small, but you press this button, it opens on the left side. Makes no sense because this is actually made for left hand drive, not for right hand drive. Here you get buttons for the audio system. Nice scroller here, which is metallic for the volume. And this is for my bones. This is for ADAS, auto hold, electric parking brake. And this is the gear selector. This is the engine start button. I wanted a proper gear selector. This is the hazard light button. 2 USB-C charging sockets, 12-volt charging socket. There's some storage space here. Actually, these are cup holders. And this happens to be the wireless charging pad, which is upright. Put your phone and then you lock it here. Gloss black finishing right there. AC controls for front and rear demister. And one AC vent here, 2 AC vents here. It says airbag on the inside and 1 AC vent on that side as well, which actually makes me believe that the cabin is quite big and the dashboard is also quite well done. Overall quality seems quite good. However, paddle shifters have been removed. Front seat massage, that has been removed. Yes, there was massage function in the X1, that has been removed as well, which is surprising, shocking and sad as well. Now these are the controls for the cruise control. This is for the audio system and also to browse through that particular screen. This happens to be a 10.25 inch screen and you can browse through a lot of stuff. It gives you a lot of information as well. Yeah, there's a G-force meter. Obviously, it will tell you what track you are in and navigation and all those things. Meanwhile, you can change the layouts as well. There are multiple layouts. This layout makes no sense only. Actually, none of the layouts make any sense whatsoever. Fully digital. When you turn on the car, it has this nice animation with sound. When you turn it off, also the animation comes. It's there on both the screens. So now this is a connected screen, which is not so connected because if you notice, this is the only area. Rest of it is all black and not usable. So this is 10.25 inch. This is 10.7 inch. But the panel is much bigger than what it should be, just so that it looks big. But it's not. There's no head-up display as well. I would expect it at this price. Now the seat, not the seat, the steering wheel is adjustable both for reach as well as rake. You get automatic wipers, you get automatic headlights. Headlight control is not here, but that is the control for the indicator and flash as well. And obviously when you change the drive mode, the cluster mode also changes. So if I come into say sport mode, so you can see the cluster also changes like that. Now this screen has way too many things. I don't understand why they don't have physical buttons. It has got inbuilt navigation, which is actually quite cool and very nice as well. And then when I come into the home function, come on home, yeah, I can actually browse through like this. Lot of information to see here. It was telling me if everything is fine in terms of engine, tire pressure and all those things. So yeah, you can just turn the vehicle here, and if I flash the light or give an indicator, it shows that as well. So this is the home screen, which is very much customizable, and then you get weather update as well, which is absolutely fantastic. To get into climate, you have to come in from here, and everything is so touch reliant. It's horrible. I don't understand the logic. Why don't they have physical buttons? Air conditioning is a chiller, dual zone climate control air conditioning system, but no ventilated seats at this price. What are you doing, BMW? How can you do that? And it has got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless, which is amazing actually, which is obviously expected at this price point. And then there's something known as displays where you can change a lot of things. In fact, you can change so many settings now. In fact, there's also a drive recorder, so you can record the car from the 4 cameras. So it's like a dash cam, but you have to record it, or you can put it on, triggering the camera to be on in terms of when the car has an accident. I don't know how that works or how the car judges that, but that can be done too. So it has inbuilt Wi-Fi, and there is obviously interior lighting with ambient lighting, and this will not work right now because obviously I am right now in sport mode. Only in personal it works. There's no digital art anymore. I think you can subscribe to that. Who wants digital art? I used to hate digital art when I was driving the earlier X1 almost 3 years back, but yeah, it is what it is. Here we have interior lighting, wherein there are 15 colors for the interior lighting, and you can just change the colors, which changes here, which also changes here around the wireless charging pad. Which is actually quite fantastic. Look at this treatment, very premium. Some of the bits are very premium, some of the bits are quite cheap, and the lack of features at this price point are just not understandable. Here I was telling you, you can share your key and all. That is also very much possible. You can pair your game controller as well to play games, because this is not a car, this is now like a gaming device, because obviously 3-cylinder engine BMW is not really a BMW at the end of the day. So lot of settings you can actually do here, which actually brings me to the parking camera. There are multiple views for the parking camera. There is this panorama view, and obviously there's a 3D view as well. The best part about the camera is that in case you're going to hit something, it comes into bird's eye view and it moves the camera accordingly to tell you where there's a chance of hitting something. So you can obviously change the camera from here, which is nice. Let's come into reverse. So this is the reverse parking camera, bro. Come into reverse. Okay, and it has got adaptive guidelines. So I see the number plate when I come into drive in front. There also it moves the camera nicely. So multiple camera views here. Camera quality is actually nice. There's this car wash view if you want to wash the car. That also works quite nicely. So yes, it has a lot of features here, but I don't understand the logic of having everything in the touchscreen and unnecessarily putting useless shit here, because who wants these credits? Who's going to see the credits that who's made the system? Nobody cares. This is the OS 9, the iDrive 9, which is slick but just too cumbersome with way too many things stuffed inside, which makes it very cumbersome. You can obviously subscribe to digital services wherein you can actually get a lot of apps as well, probably YouTube and Amazon, and you can buy things. I mean, the sky is the limit, but you have to obviously pay for the premium digital services. You've got leather steering. The mirrors also have the memory function, so they're linked to the seat memory, and when you come into reverse, they obviously go back as well. So yeah, that's something which is very much expected. Meanwhile, it has got reversing assistant, and in my modes, you've got personal, sport and efficient. I am happy not to see digital art and all that nonsense which was there earlier. The screen is heated up quite a lot. Can swipe from top and add shortcuts if I want, and obviously this also changes a lot of things in the car. Like when I come into personal, obviously the cluster mode changes and ambient lights change, and all those things also happen. Meanwhile, you get a mirror here along with the light. This does not extend. That is the microphone. Even the driver has a handle to hold on to, which is nice. Same is the case here as well. So yeah, overall quality fit finish is good, but yeah, 3 cylinders at this price makes no sense. But is it enough? Let's give it the beans. Alright, let's turn on the car, and silent because only 3 cylinders have to wake up, so not much sound anyways. Straight away, let's turn off the air conditioning. I come into my modes.
I come into sport here and DSC deactivated, obviously. Now there's something known as dynamic data here, which is somewhere right here. Adaptive content, their power and torque meters, hazard lights off, and into drive, and off we go. Yeah, the engine is very smooth and silent. It's a petrol engine, obviously, so it has to be smooth and silent, and gets off very nicely off the line as well. So there's good amount of peppiness lower down. So engine is tuned for drivability for sure. Now this is a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine known as the B38. 3 cylinders, oh my goodness. When Skoda, Volkswagen are offering 4 cylinders with 1.5 liter at 1/3 the price, I don't know how BMW even has the guts of offering us 3 cylinders, not only in the X1 but also in a lot of the other cars, including the Mini Countryman. The Countryman C gets it, and I don't want to even go there. I'm just so disappointed that why don't we get the 2-liter engine. Now I'll tell you why I'm even more disappointed is because this car actually is coming from China in terms of the whole idea of long wheelbase, because China is the only other market which is big on long wheelbase. So left-hand drive long wheelbase of the X1 is sold in China, and that's from where they have got the idea of getting a long wheelbase version of the X1 to India. They had the iX1, now they obviously have this one, the petrol version. But we were expecting, or at least I was definitely expecting, a bigger and more powerful engine, because in China none of these engines are offered. The 2-liter diesel, which is not there in the long wheelbase in India, which is there in the short wheelbase, that is not offered in China because China is a predominantly petrol market, so diesel engines are not sold there. 2-liter diesel engine is fantastic actually, which should be offered in this long wheelbase version probably later. But in China you get the 2-liter petrol engine, which is having 204 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. It's available both in front wheel drive as well as all wheel drive, and it's known as the S drive or the X drive 25 Li, making around 68 horsepower and 70 Newton meters more than this particular engine, which makes just 156 horsepower, which comes in later of like higher end of the rev range, between 4,900 to 6,000 RPM. But the good news is that power has been increased by 20 horsepower. Earlier the X1 had 136 horsepower, now it has at least some little bit more horsepower here. In the Mini Countryman C, which has the same engine, the torque output was 240 Newton meters. Here the torque output is 230 Newton meters. Why reduce that 10 Newton meters? Makes no sense whatsoever. You're telling me Mini is more premium than BMW? I don't agree at all with you. So the overall result here is that I don't know how fast it goes from 0 to 100 km per hour, because BMW itself does not want to even tell anyone how fast it goes from 0 to 100 km per hour, because probably BMW is like, with that horsepower and torque numbers, it's not even going to reach 100. Obviously it will. I think top speed should be almost 200 km per hour, 212 km per hour for the Mini Countryman C. The Mini Countryman C goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in 9 seconds. We are going to test the timing. It's dry today, so yes, I can test the timing. Now the thing is, why this car is so drivable is because that torque of 230 Newton meters comes in at a low 1500 RPM and stays there till 4600 RPM. But the disappointing part is there is no sport mode for the gearbox. There are no paddle shifters, which have been removed here obviously. And earlier with the paddle shifter there was a boost mode, so if you pull it for 10 seconds it will give you full power, which was if you are not in the sportiest of drive modes. But now that is also gone. So BMW slowly and surely keeps removing features, just like how Volvo does. I don't know what's with luxury car brands who want to keep taking more and more money for their cars. I understand you have a big nice brand, but you can't keep charging anything for anything. Now that just doesn't make sense only. So unfortunately that is the situation here. So like I was telling you, in China obviously the long wheelbase gets more power because it's important to have some amount of power, but unfortunately there is none here. Car feels quite sluggish actually. Engine is not bad, it's not great either. It's just that at this price and as a BMW you expect more. If this was some other brand you would be like, okay fine, at least the pricing wouldn't be so high, definitely. Now BMW is also like, we have tuned the suspension. This car has comfort suspension. The long wheelbase version has a better suspension, more oriented towards comfort, and they've also worked on the steering feedback and the accuracy of the steering. And I can tell you, not really, nothing's changed really. It's only got worse because of the long wheelbase. The agility of the car has suffered quite a bit. Now I'm stopping in the wrong place. I thought I'll do the acceleration test, but I don't think the car is going to reach 100 km per hour before that speed breaker. So we need to stop on the left, hold on for a bit, and then launch the car to see how fast it goes from 0 to 100 km per hour. Because as I see it, this car doesn't feel BMW like in any way. Where is the ultimate driving machine? Not here for sure, because the car just feels so sluggish. Okay, just random wiper test, because I can lot of spray. In fact, it goes all over the roof as well. Well, the horn test. horn is good. German cars and their horn, always fantastic. And now is the time for the moment of truth. Let me change this to get a G-force meter here. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving into the motor, no launch control, left still 2500 RPM, and off we go. Yeah, wheel spin. In spite of the lack of power, there is wheel spin because this is front wheel drive. Unbelievable. Yeah, front wheel drive for 60 lakh rupees or more than 60 lakh rupees doesn't make any sense whatsoever. 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.73 seconds. Similar time I got with the Mini Countryman C. In fact, the China model, which has a 2-liter engine, goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in a claim 7.7 seconds. Obviously, the engine is also heavier, the 2-liter engine, but top speed to 29 km per hour. I think this will top out at 212 km per hour. Now, BMW is like we have 50-50 weight distribution, which is something they have pioneered. And my goodness, the car feels roly-poly. Obviously, the suspension is on the stiffer side because that inherent stiffness is there. So big bumps, you can feel them a bit. But overall, suspension is very compliant. They have done a great job in terms of the suspension. Obviously, long wheelbase, so stability at high speeds is good. But directional change isn't as good as the short wheelbase version, which is obviously expected because as you increase the wheelbase, obviously agility also goes for a toss. And steering doesn't have much feel or feedback. It's direct, but it's just not so feelsome like a BMW should be. Now it's time to do the brake test at 100 km per hour. Stops after 3 business days, bro. Yeah, the brakes could be better. Obviously, tire screeching happened there. And off we go. Hazards have turned on. Turn off the hazards. So yeah, this car is using the FAR platform. It's a front wheel drive platform. It's just not impressive enough. They're using the they're using the Mini platform here, which should be restricted to Mini. I think the UKL2 platform, which is not very BMW like because BMW is all about rear wheel drive and being the ultimate driving machine. Now there's an L mode on the gearbox which actually maintains lower gear. There's no sport mode for the gearbox. Understeer in plenty. If you try to push it hard, yeah, you can feel understeer happen, which is kind of expected as well. So yeah, in terms of performance, disappointing. Ride and handling, well, I would say it's more comfort oriented. So yes, ride is good. Handling isn't great because the steering just doesn't have the level of feel you would expect. So there's a lot of body roll which you can feel while driving this car, and that's obviously something which happens when you elongate the wheelbase. So this is not a driver's car, this is a chauffeur driven car. So BMW should drop the tagline ultimate driving machine. They have actually done it. They call BMW now Joy. Joy is BMW. Joy is sitting in the rear seat now, not in the front seat, not being the driver in the car, unfortunately. So as I see it, this petrol engine is quite lackluster, not fit for a BMW car at all, and with price expected to be around rupees 64 lakhs on road Mumbai. Well, there are a lot of better options you can buy. The thing is, BMW never sells cars at MRP. Like if you take the 330 Li for example, that car's retail price on road Mumbai is 74 lakhs but is sold at around rupees 59 lakhs after 14-15 lakh discount. So with this also 64 lakhs you will get 14-15 lakh discount. Then buying it under 50 lakhs on road makes more sense. Doesn't make sense to buy it at the full price. Now a lot of people ended up buying the iX1 long wheelbase because with electric you can get 40% depreciation, and obviously the big advantage with electric being that in spite of lower power also the torque is good right from get-go, so you don't feel sluggish in that car. However, I expect people not to take to the petrol version as freely as they did with the electric version because of the depth and obviously the torque. That's the reason why I feel if you're really looking to buy a BMW internal combustion entry-level model, you are definitely better off getting which car? The 330 Li for 59 lakhs. I mean, why would you want to get an X1 when you get a real like a real BMW? The 3 Series is a real BMW, real wheel drive, and with long wheelbase. It's also very practical. Obviously, it doesn't have the ground clearance of an X1. This car has a ground clearance of I think 175 mm, so ground clearance is decent enough. Now, like I was telling you, paddle shifters have been removed, but you can still come into manual mode. There's a trick. What you need to do is you need to keep this pressed. Yeah, just keep this pressed. Now you have to keep it pressed for approximately 20 to 30 seconds. Yeah, that's a long press. This is a new stupid feature in most new BMW 3-cylinder engine cars, wherein you have to get into manual mode using this trick, which is very weird. Yeah, now we are in manual mode. You see M6, it says how do I shift using these cruise control buttons. So yeah, there I can shift, but it tells me press button to activate. It tries to get into cruise also at times, but I'm trying to make a downshift and I don't know why it's trying to say another thing. So that's how it works. Does it hold on to a gear? Let's try it. Yeah, it doesn't hold on to a gear. You can feel the stiffness actually. I was saying, one second, let's do some water splashy. Yeah, so I was saying the stiffness can be felt on rumblers and all at low speeds and at any speed actually. And I was saying the way the car is not stable when you try to make directional changes sort of makes me feel that the suspension is soft, although it's not. It's just so roly-poly. Oh my god, I can absolutely spin the car. That's the kind of grip it has, or the lack of it. So yeah, I'm not very impressed by the driving dynamics of this X1. Just doesn't feel exciting, engaging or fun in any way. I'm not even talking to you, just shut up.
Unfortunately, I didn't understand you.
I also don't understand what BMW is doing. Now let's test the acceleration again. Oh, wheel spin. It wheel spins a lot. Now front wheel drive not able to take this much power. What's happening? And off we go. Yeah, this is going to be slow. So 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 9.29 seconds. Now the gearbox is actually very quick with shift. This is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. The only thing I miss is manual control. Right now I'm obviously in manual mode, so I'm just going to change gears here, but doesn't hold on to a gear, which kind of beats the point of having manual mode here. But how difficult is it to not remove paddle shifters? Brands are removing whatever they can see. They're like, nobody will notice. I mean, how can you not have paddle shifters? Makes no sense whatsoever. Now in terms of drive modes, there are 3 drive modes here. There's personal, which is like the normal drive mode. There's efficient, which is like the efficient drive mode, and then you have individual settings wherein you can decide how the climate control works and the lights work in terms of increasing the efficiency of the car. So that's also very much possible. And then when you come into sport now, it has got individual setting here, so you can decide how you want the drivetrain, comfort or sport. You can decide how you want the steering, whether you want it in comfort or sport, and driving dynamics can be sport, sport plus or DSC off. So I've obviously kept DSC off because then we can have some wheel spin. Actually, I think let's try and put sport plus and see if it does any faster in terms of acceleration timing, because like why not? I think it will definitely perform better in terms of 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Now the funny part is I'm in manual mode. How do I come out of manual mode? Now that can become a bit of a trick and can get a bit frustrating as well, because look here, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to try and come into reverse. So here I stop the car and I come into reverse. Yeah, it worked. But sometimes this gearbox completely freezes. It does not let me change. So I have to turn off the car and then only I can start using it. Now we are in drive mode. Now let's test the acceleration. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. Revs till 2,500 RPM. Why no launch control? And off we go. Still a little bit of wheel spin. 1 second, traction control. I had done DSC. Oh my god, it can get so confusing. Why don't you have a freaking button only? I don't understand the logic only why they cannot have a button. So here Sport Plus. Okay, Sport Plus also has DSC off. So let's come into sport and launch it and see if it does anything different. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. No, the thing is it doesn't rev much and then off we go. I think this is going to be much slower. 100% artificial sound is being piped in. Red line comes in at around 6,500 RPM. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.81 seconds, which is decent. It has got ADAS, which is not intrusive. It works brilliantly well here, and BMW is obviously offering service packages as well. You can extend the warranty to up to 10 years, which is actually fantastic. Now again, I'm going to come into individual setting and I'm just going to keep into DSC off, and then we are going to drive it in that particular mode because that is by far the best. And let's see if we can do a better time from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Notice the judder and the uneasiness. I mean, sort of improper fueling that kind of dropped the timing from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. So the car is not fast at all. Now this is the 3rd generation of the X1. The 1st generation model was launched in 2009 in India. It came in 2011. 2nd generation I think in 2015 or 16, that was when it was launched. I like the 2nd generation. I think it was quite cool. And this 3rd generation was codenamed U11, but this being the long wheelbase is the U12. That's how they are like naming the cars. And they have sold 30,000 units of the X1 in India till date, which is actually quite good. The problem is that the Q3 is old. Otherwise the Q3 was the best car in the segment. The new one is coming very soon as well. Oh, it's coming as soon as later this month, which means that the X1, although the best in the segment now, might not be the best in the segment, again depending on how Audi decides to price the Q3. But the GLA also has a newer version, which means that they should give a proper facelift to this car. I don't know what they're waiting for. Now with the GLA, the diesel actually has 4-wheel drive, which is fantastic, and similar pricing as the X1. You get 4-wheel drive, but the GLA looks a bit small. That's my only problem with the GLA. Otherwise the GLA is a fantastic car. Now with the short wheelbase, the diesel was at a premium of rupees 4 lakhs. So if they get the diesel in the long wheelbase, expect prices to be close to rupees 70 lakhs. Why would you buy a fake BMW when you can get a real one like the 3 Series, the 320 LD? Now notice, yeah, there's a lot of road noise, wind noise, tire noise, which creeps into the cabin, which makes me believe that this is not a real BMW. The X1 was never a real BMW. It was all about using this badge to sell people more cars, and that's what exactly BMW has been able to do successfully with the iX1, and that's one of the major reasons why they have overtaken Mercedes. And if this car sells well, they would definitely be ahead of Mercedes, which are obviously, the brand Mercedes is selling more top-end vehicles, more expensive vehicles, while BMW is like, there's a void market here in the entry-level segment. Let's sell more X1s and 3 Series. The 3 Series is a fantastic car. Unfortunately, the X1 ain't, and neither is the 2 Series. So if you want a real BMW, spend a bit more. You're anyways going to take a loan. Slide more money in terms of EMI won't hurt you at all, but at least nobody would say, look, he drives a fake BMW, because you, with the 3 Series, are driving a real one. And on that discovery, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye, and stay away from fake BMWs.